May not be a husband, but I'm always be a father. And the father's job is to protect, provide, and love.
From Shaquille O'Neal cheating on his wife with another team player's baby mama, to two teammates at the Phoenix Suns sleeping with Steve Nash's wife. These NBA players didn't just break the rules of basketball, they completely shattered the bro code. The drama behind the scenes of these locker rooms makes Hollywood look tame, and these betrayals, they're the stuff of legends. Grab your popcorn, because we're about to dive deep into the wild world of NBA scandals.
When they see me do charitable work, all I need is one or two of them when they get to a certain age and certain status do the same thing. I lead by example.
Shaquille O'Neal, the serial cheater. If there's one name that automatically gets linked to NBA cheating scandals, it's Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq isn't just known for his dominance on the court, he's also famous for his high-profile personal life, and unfortunately for breaking hearts off the court. In 2010, Shaq's personal life was the focus of a jaw-dropping scandal when his wife, Shawnee O'Neal, accused him of cheating with none other than Laura Govan.
I have two, I don't like to use the term baby mamas, I have two wonderful women that have given me beautiful, gorgeous children.
Now, here's the twist. Laura Govan wasn't just anyone. She was engaged to Gilbert Arenas, another NBA star, and was also the mother of his children. Talk about a messy love triangle, huh? But Shaq didn't just get caught up in a little flirting. No, he had a full-blown affair with Laura, and it wasn't just rumors. Leaked emails between Shaq and Laura hit the internet and were packed with some very explicit details about their secret rendezvous.
And then,
the whole thing was about the ring.
And then played house.
So you played house for 4 months to get that $400,000 ring.
No, after it was 4 months, and then I had the ring, and then start playing.
And here's the kicker. Gilbert Arenas, who had been in a relationship with Laura for years, couldn't believe what had happened. Imagine finding out that your fiancé was sleeping with your teammate. Gilbert's reaction wasn't just a public heartbreak, it affected his game too. During a match against the Indiana Pacers, he was at the free throw line, and as soon as he's about to take his shots, some kids in the stands start chanting "Shaq" over and over, while also making rude gestures at him.
To be honest with you, my definition of being rich is being able to buy my mother whatever she wants. That's it. That's all I care about.
Talk about a distraction. And to make things worse, Gilbert missed both free throws. According to him, it was all due to the mental chaos caused by the scandal. That is the power of betrayal in the NBA.
And I didn't have any control. I was really immature. I was just for the moment. And however you got it is, I accepted it and I was good with that.
But wait, there's more. The drama didn't end with just the emails and free throw misses. Laura denied the entire affair, saying, "Hell no," and even went as far as to mock Shaq's feet, claiming she couldn't possibly sleep with him because of how gross his feet were. What? Now that's a wild defense. But let's be honest, Shaq's feet are a whole other story. Still, he was caught red-handed, and he later admitted to being a serial cheater in his book, Shaq Uncut.
I said, you can keep taking me to court. That shit, I got about
I got 350,000 left.
I got about 3 more cases before I tap into my own money here.
He confessed that because of his fame, women practically threw themselves at him, and he couldn't resist the temptation. Not exactly the most remorseful answer, huh? Shaq's logic behind his infidelity was definitely a controversial take. But as they say, nobody's perfect, right? Well, maybe some things are a little more excusable than others, but this is an all-time low.
Never been here before. It's a fabulous place. The people have been very, very hospitable. NBA had 2 games here.
The awkward scandal involving Paul George and Roy Hibbert. Fast forward to 2014, where things got even messier, because who can forget the drama surrounding Paul George and Roy Hibbert of the Indiana Pacers? Their friendship took a nosedive, and the NBA locker rooms were filled with whispers. But hold on to your seats, because what went down between these two was straight up scandalous.
They had taken out the center position in the All-Star game, and I don't toot my own horn or anything like that, but from what I was told in terms of voting wise.
So here's how it unfolded. Paul George and Roy Hibbert were two of the Indiana Pacers' key players. On the court, they were a dynamic duo, tearing it up during the 2014 playoffs. But just as their team's performance started to plummet, rumors began swirling. And no, this wasn't about their game. This was personal drama.
No, I'm an SMG or an assault rifle guy, so neither.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it actually pronounced LSAT or is it LSAT? Because
It came out that Roy Hibbert's wife and Paul George had been involved in an affair. Yep, you heard that right. They were talking Instagram DMs, and it eventually escalated to the point where Roy Hibbert found out through a confession from his wife. She admitted to the affair, and well, Paul George wasn't exactly the good guy in this story either.
To tell you the truth, I don't feel one way about it. I played in an era where I was efficient, I was able to score in the paint.
Imagine the heartbreak Roy Hibbert must have felt. His own teammate sleeping with his wife. Talk about a betrayal that cuts deep. This whole situation spiraled out of control, and it had a massive impact on Hibbert's career. He couldn't shake the emotional weight of the scandal, and it clearly affected his game. It wasn't just a locker room betrayal, it was a career killer.
But I think if you have a face mask, you should definitely wear a headband.
Well,
you don't want the sweat getting in there and fogging up.
Andrew Binham and the coach's wife. If you thought things couldn't get any crazier, then you're in for a real treat. Let's talk about Andrew Binham and his involvement in a scandal that hit close to home. Real close. Binham, who played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, got himself suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. You'd think it would be because of a bad game or a locker room outburst, right? Nope, it was because of a love affair. But not with a teammate's wife. Oh no, he went straight for the coach's wife.
Well, my role on the team, on this team, was, obviously to be a defensive force.
That's right. Binham had been sleeping with Jamal Mosley's wife, and this affair rocked the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a bombshell that was hard to ignore. After this scandal broke, Binham's career took a major hit. He was suspended, given paid leave, and ultimately disappeared from the league for years. He wasn't just caught in a scandal, he was blacklisted from the NBA for good. Bad decisions lead to bad consequences, right?
Obviously, I wanted to be back, not miss a beat, but I have no idea, what's going to pan out.
Tony Parker and the sexy scandal with Eva Longoria's best friend's husband. Now let's talk about one of the most jaw-dropping scandals in NBA history, involving Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs. You'd think a man married to the stunning Eva Longoria would be off limits for any woman, right? Well, think again. Tony Parker found himself caught up in a sexting affair with none other than Brett Berry's wife, Aaron Berry.
I was drafted 28, like you said, and so at 21, I remember Boston, Chrissy from the NBA, she comes to me and my dad, she gives me the Celtic.
And get this, the two couples were close friends. They were hanging out together, doing everything together, and this is the ultimate betrayal. Eva Longoria, who thought her marriage was rock solid, found text messages between Tony and Aaron Berry, and the scandal blew up. Eva dumped him on the spot, and even went so far as to get rid of the tattoo of their wedding date on her wrist. Damn.
Divorced people, and my husband and I are both divorced, and so we moved in to meet the Pope. It was to bless we were about to get married, and so I said, will you...
To add more insult to injury, Brett Berry filed for divorce too. Tony Parker went on to admit his mistake in an interview with Hello magazine, acknowledging how difficult it was to be under the public eye after the scandal broke. But we can't help but wonder, how stupid do you have to be to cheat on Eva Longoria? Seems like Parker learned the hard way, and it wasn't just his marriage that crumbled. His reputation in the NBA took a major hit.
First time ever. First time that a coach and a player enters the same year. And so it's pretty special to me.
Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher, the ultimate betrayal. If you thought all of this was crazy, wait until you hear about the infamous scandal involving Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher. These two were teammates, And just like any solid NBA duo, they had each other's backs. Or at least that's what Barnes thought.
So she gets back, so she's maybe 10 feet from the car, and I guess I'm just ice grilling her, that she like freezes like a deer in the headlights, like she knows by this time that her...
After Barnes and his ex-wife Gloria Govan went through a divorce, the real drama began. It turns out Derek Fisher started dating Gloria after the split. That's a huge violation of the bro code. It wasn't just about dating his ex-wife. It was about the betrayal of everything they'd built together. Matt wasn't about to let this slide.
You're a great researcher, and you have great researchers around here. That
Sure.
There are probably other people that are in relationship now.
What followed next was a legendary confrontation that became the stuff of NBA law. Matt Barnes drove 100 miles to confront Fisher in his backyard. Imagine the scene. Matt Barnes, angry and determined, showing up in the middle of the night, demanding answers from Fisher. This wasn't just a heated argument, it was a full-on physical confrontation. Fisher, who was probably expecting a casual chat, didn't know what hit him.
You know, splitting up with my ex, it was definitely the right thing to do, but just losing my boys in the process was tough, you know what I mean? So I was just going through a lot mentally.
Barnes later spoke about this incident and said, "I had to get that off my chest, man." He wasn't about to let his teammates slide for something so personal. This was the ultimate example of the bro code being broken.
I don't base my decision on whether or not I like you because of the color of your skin or who you go out with. I can only decide that between a relationship with you and knowing you.
Steve Nash's Phoenix Suns disaster. And finally, let's talk about one of the most scandalous betrayals ever, involving none other than Steve Nash, his teammates, and his wife. It's hard to imagine a more twisted scenario than this. Two teammates from the Phoenix Suns sleeping with Steve Nash's wife, Alejandra Amaya.
The talking, it's not 30 and 10, it's reliability in your approach, mentality, fight, and spirit.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be able to win.
To make matters worse, just one day after she gave birth to Steve's child, Nash filed for divorce. The shocking part, Nash believed the baby wasn't his. It was actually Barbosa's. After a DNA test revealed the truth, Nash's world was shattered. But it didn't end there. Jason Richardson, another Suns teammate, was also involved in the scandal. Talk about a betrayal of epic proportions.
It's also important not to, like the role that I play in Matt and Gloria's children's lives.
These NBA players didn't just break the bro code, they practically obliterated it. From Shaq's infidelity to Derek Fisher's betrayal, these stories have left their marks on NBA history. The lessons here: never get too comfortable, because betrayal can come from the most unexpected places.
Unparalleled level of support and people in this building rooting for me, and I'll forever be grateful for that. And
so, what do you think? Which scandal shocked you the most? Do you think bro code is still relevant in the NBA today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Celeb Titbits for more exclusive drama that you won't find anywhere else. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned, because these NBA players' off-court dramas might just be more exciting than their on-court performances.